Neely.
Blaze is here.
There she is. We were literally just saying, I don't see Blaze in the chat yet.
It can't happen until Blaze is here.
I know. It's a thing. It's a thing. You're part of this. Fully
Seriously.
part of this. Sylvia's here. Hello. And so is Gary. Howdy, howdy. I love a good howdy. Makes me think of Toy Story. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Yeah. The best Disney movie ever. Or, it's up there. It's up there.
It's pretty high up there, not gonna lie. However, I think Meet the Robinsons is probably my favorite Disney Pixar movie, just because it's one of those things where once, like as an adult, you sort of understand sort of the full breadth of what's going on in that movie, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever sat down and actually watched the whole thing. Oh, maybe I need to do that. Because it's like adoption as part of it. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. Right. And just like the whole, like having a place where you belong and everybody is just a little bit kooky and everybody is lovable, even with their kookiness. It's so great. And then my second favorite Pixar Disney movie has to be WALL-E, just because
that is a great one.
I love WALL-E.
There's so many good things about it.
So many great things.
So many.
El Sabak, hello, and Jennifer is here. Yeah, Gary, that's exactly why I also
my picture over. Renee painted this for me last night.
Up with my mom. Pretty.
So I just had to have that in the backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
So well, enjoy the nice spring artwork.
It's beautiful. It really adds a lot of pizzazz to your scene. I like it.
Yeah, which I needed. I really needed.
Yeah, I mean, like her use of color is very nice.
I love it.
Excellent little artiste. Okay, we've been here for like 2 whole minutes. What's in your cup?
Coffee with cream. Surprise!
Surprise!
And I'm using my perfect keto cup. My adorable perfect keto cup that I had to fill all the way to the brim.
It's just,
of course, I spilled a little bit.
I love that cup a lot. It's just so small. I'm like, this is a great hot chocolate mug for me.
There you go. Yeah.
I actually went with coffee, and then I did chocolate perfect keto collagen, and then I also decided I was going to do the mint chocolate element today.
Ooh.
I was going for a minty chocolatey business. But it's quite delightful. I will say, like, putting the element in coffee, because it's got so saltiness to it, it helps to balance out that sweet weirdness that goes with coffee. So when I combine that with a perfect keto, either the MCT oil or the collagen powders, it feels like it takes it down a notch almost from the sweetness level, because that salt just really kind of it shines. The salt shines.
I like salt in my coffee now. I didn't know about that until I started doing the electrolyte drops in the coffee. I still don't like the sweet, so I don't do the flavors in the coffee. But the salty electrolyte in the coffee is kind of great, because you get the coffee, which can dehydrate you or pull water out of your body, but then you're adding electrolytes, so it cancels it out.
That's a beauty. I love it. It's excellent logic. Good job, logic. We like you.
Absolutely.
El Sabak asked about tea. As far as, it kind of depends, I think, on your taste when it comes
and what
to
you're going for.
For sure. My personal favorite tea is going to be oolong all day long. I love oolong tea. Black. I mean, it's not black, or like unadulterated, pure oolong tea. And I also like to mix it with things. I feel like it's a pretty neutral-ish based tea, but also mint tea, like peppermint tea, just pure herbal tea. I love a good peppermint tea. What about you?
So I typically don't drink teas except in the evening before bed, and so they're typically caffeine free. I like carbonated teas. I like chai teas and stuff like that, but if it's a time of day when I'm drinking something caffeinated, it's usually coffee. So I just don't find myself consuming it very much. But I do like chai teas, and I really like the chai tea with the chocolate element or the caramel chocolate element. My husband even likes the chocolate mint in his chai, which wasn't my favorite. Although
Sure.
I did try a jasmine tea with chocolate mint, and that was really good. It was kind of
Really?
like a mint hot chocolate with just that little zing of the jasmine taste. It was really,
Yeah.
really good. And always a little bit of cream or something like coconut
Ah,
milk or cream to make it creamy. So I love that. For evening teas, I think it's the Yogi brand is typically what I get. And I like the honey lavender. It's I think it's relaxing tea or
okay.
something like that. But specifically a relaxing tea. It's really good,
Mhm.
and it's actually Renee's favorite. Also, she makes her little tea with her honey in it and everything. And
Listen,
so yeah, any of the like the evening relaxing yogi teas, like I think I've tried them all and they're all good.
yeah.
But I think honey lavender is my favorite.
So we really like the Celestial Seasons honey vanilla chamomile tea.
Oh
We had
yeah, I think I've
we
tried
had
that
used
one.
that for years and years and years. And when my husband goes, like he'll kind of ebb and flow sometimes where some like for a little period of time he wants to drink decaf coffee at night, and then he'll sort of shift back to I want to drink tea. And the honey
Mhm.
vanilla chamomile is always the first one he reaches for. I'll vacillate between that one or peppermint tea, depending on what's like easily grabbed at that time.
Mm.
But I do
Yeah, I do. Go ahead.
I find tea it tends to be an ebb and flow thing for me as well.
Yeah, I do try to get, if I can, I try to get organic teas and I try to get organic coffees also just because they're a heavily sprayed
Yeah.
product. Although Autumn works at Starbucks now and she
Yeah.
gets a free pound of coffee every week. And so
Nice.
she brings it to me because she doesn't drink coffee like that at home. And so I'm like, it's free. And so I'm
Yeah.
not doing the organic coffee right now, but I do try to get organic tea when I can. That's
Sure.
why I like the Yogi.
Yeah. I mean, Yogi is a great brand.
It is.
And if
Yeah.
you ever feel like your system is a little bit like stuck, using their detox tea can kind of help
Yes.
with certain things. Like you can really tailor tea to your specific like symptoms to sort of
Yeah.
find some relief.
I feel like tea is, I mean, there's true tea, and so that's like in a class by itself. But then there's the herbal teas, which are not
Hmm.
actually from a tea plant.
Right.
But it's kind of like essential oils or something where there's just all these options and they all can have these different effects. And so
Right.
depending on what you're going for, you can mix and match and try different things.
Right. If I'm ever like stuffy in my head, the peppermint tea is always sort of where I gravitate. Just because that
Yeah,
that
it
like
just opens
pungent
it up.
peppermint just kind of
Yeah, yeah, very clever. Oh, Patty says she made raspberry salt gummies. That
That
sounds really
sounds
good.
delightful.
I need to make gummies more often and Jello more often.
Mhm. Just to
So
get that good gut liner.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's so many good things about it. It's filling. I like to
Yeah.
add the egg white protein powder, so it gives me a kick of protein, super
Yeah.
filling, delicious. It's like a
Absolutely.
treat.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
love
need to do that more.
gelatin. It's just like such a versatile ingredient, but then it can also
Mhm.
be these things. You can make marshmallows with it. Although
I've never done that.
finding the right kind of ingredients to put together for a no sugar or no corn syrup marshmallow, it's a little bit
Yeah,
more tricky, but it's still
yeah,
doable.
yeah, yeah. I need to try marshmallows someday. So,
I tried to make nougat sugar free,
mm,
which it's adjacent to a marshmallow. It
yeah,
has more of like a whipped meringue as part
yeah.
of the process. And I tried that for, I don't know, months when we lived in Wisconsin. And I could never like
Mm.
land on it because I was trying to recreate a Milky Way,
Oh, that would be amazing.
but it was a bit of a stressful process. And I finally decided to, you know, put that one
Yeah.
aside. Turn the page.
Keto Upgrade, doesn't Keto Upgrade have a Snickers bar recipe?
I don't know.
I feel like I saw that and that has nougat. I always know the candies that have nougat because Levi can't have nougat, anything with nougat
Uh-huh.
in it. So I'm always like looking for that. But I'm pretty sure that Snickers do. And I know I saw a video.
Oh, she figured it out. Keto nougat.
leave it to her. She would.
Right?
Let's see.
A year ago. Well, a year and a few months back. Good for her. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Egg whites, allulose, water, salt, vanilla. And then she has the chocolate chips and
because nougat is usually a chocolatey.
Oh, okay.
A chocolatier
coconut oil
flavor. So back when I was trying to do this, Lauren was an infant, and I was not keen on allulose at that time. So I was more or less.
Magic.
Huh? It is magic. It is.
I mean, it's
cool.
like sugar in the way it works in recipes, especially candy recipes. So it's just like the thing. So yeah.
She doesn't use gelatin.
You never tried it with allulose? Tried making nougat with allulose?
No, because I put a pin in it and said I'm coming back whenever I'm not frustrated with it, and I never made my way back.
Yeah. All right. Well, now you just have to follow Keto Upgrade's recipe. She did the work for you.
I know, but she didn't put any gelatin in there, which means that I will likely not follow her recipe. Because I've got it stuck in my brain. I'm going to use gelatin somehow in this recipe.
Is that normally in nougat, or is that just your own desire?
That's my own. Yeah, that's just kind of my own little thing. Back in the long ago, I would use gelatin as my stabilizer for whipped cream in order to not let it fall flat in the fridge. Because it's hard for me to make, a quarter cup of heavy whipping cream into whipped cream. And then, you always wind up making more than you actually need. And then it's a waste. And
then you have to eat it.
You have to either eat it or let it go. And so having it be stabilized in the fridge to where it would last at least a few days, I would always use gelatin. And that trick I know has been around for a really, really long time. So in my brain, it was one of those things where you whip your egg whites, you add your sweetener, and then you slowly stream in your gelatin to further stabilize it. But I think the way that nougat is stabilized in her recipe is from the semi-sweet chocolate chips.
Okay.
If she's melted.
I didn't realize nougat was chocolate. I always thought it was like a white.
It's always, if you look at it, it's always kind of like a very pale brown. It's not a bucket load of chocolate. Okay. It's just a little bit.
Okay. Because I have never attempted to make it.
What did I just do? Oh, I just did something weird.
Jennifer Fine is here. She finally got to see the live chat and not a replay. That's amazing.
Yay.
Sylvia says that she found her new favorite coffee with a little cream with better stevia chai spice. Ooh.
Interesting.
I have missed my dirty chai for the last 3 years. Now, dirty chai, that's a chai with an espresso shot in it, I think. If Autumn was here, she would know. I think that's what a dirty chai was.
What is Autumn doing? Work or other things?
Going to school. What a waste of time. Yeah. She's going to school and then she's going to work. That's her life these days. All right. Oh, Judy says hello from New Mexico. On the tea subject, Paula at Low Carb Revelation.
She is precious.
Yeah. By the way. I need to watch more of her videos. They're always in my feed, and I'm like, oh, I need to watch that, and then my life is so busy.
Yes.
But yes, I do like her. Harney and Sons tea, which you can get at Walmart. They come in tins and are really good, especially the cinnamon one. Okay.
Yeah, she's shown the tins, and they're super pretty, and it always makes me think oh, she got that at a Trader Joe's or something a little more specialty, which means I would have to hike all the way into Columbus. And but it's just at Walmart.
Yeah. Okay, and Jennifer's saying Keto Upgrade has the nougat recipe. Yes. And Michelle asked, what kind of allulose do we like? Lindsay, what do you use?
So I'd have to go and actually look at it. Gosh, it's a, you know what? Put a pin in it. You tell me your favorite allulose.
Isn't it amazing we have our computers here and we can just
look it up?
Because, let's see. So I'll say about allulose is I have used, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 different brands, and have never noticed any difference between any of
Yeah.
them. So I feel like it's a pretty safe one to just find the cheapest.
Sure.
So the one that I have been using recently, because it's the cheapest, is the micro ingredients.
That's the one I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That's the one that I have purchased the most recently, like, or back, not just the most recently, the most repeatedly. Yeah, I just linked it, and it's like $27 for 3 pounds of it.
Yes.
And I've also had really positive experience with most of the micro ingredient things that I've chosen. The pure monk fruit powder that's not got any erythritol or anything. It's the pure monk fruit powder. That one is really good too.
Okay. Yeah, so I got turned on to the micro ingredients brand through the MCT oil powder because a subscriber suggested that. And it is, as far as like a unflavored, unsweetened MCT oil powder, it's the creamiest.
Is it?
I found. And it's a good price. The only trouble that I have found with that brand is you can't get any more information about the ingredients.
Yeah.
And I like people will put comments in the Amazon or the questions and stuff, and they don't come back and answer comments. And so it's hard to know like where the stuff is sourced from and just those little details that you need to, if you're really sensitive to stuff.
Right.
You kind of need those details.
Yep.
So because I like the product so much, I've, just overlooked it and I haven't ever noticed any kind of bad reaction.
Yeah.
But
well, and it's that 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you've got as much information as is necessary, and 20% of the time you kind of act on faith.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, I like the product, but that's the one caveat I have about them is that they're not super transparent about all of their processes, and they're hard to get a hold of.
Well, I think I learned why the MCT oil powder from Micro Ingredients is so creamy. It's because it has acacia fiber in it as well.
Yeah. Well, so the thing with MCT oil powders or any fat powders, if it's a pure fat, they have to add some kind of a fiber or a protein. Like that, you can't just powder a fat without adding anything to it. So there's a lot of people are upset. They're like, this should just be one ingredient. And you're like, well, the process of powdering a fat involves other things. So that's not an issue to me. And I'm perfectly fine with acacia fiber. I think it's one of the better choices when you have to go with something.
I really like acacia fiber overall. Like, I feel like it's given me a lot of good gut bacteria fodder, as it were. Like, it just, because it's a prebiotic, it feeds those. And I think that my digestion works really like consistently well whenever I do have a little bit of acacia fiber, whether I put it in my egg bread or if I've got it in a shake or something like that. And it does lend itself to the creaminess factor. It's kind of like an emulsifier almost. When, like, you remember sunflower lecithin would always like emulsify things and keep things well distributed. Well, I still actually have sunflower lecithin from like all the way back when.
Because you buy the giant like Now brand. Is it Now brand? The big bottle, and then it lasts because you only use like 1/8 of a teaspoon each time you use it.
Yeah, and there's so few recipes that actually require it. So
so it's gonna last 25
and it still
years.
I actually added a different desiccant packet to it because I was like, I wonder at what point you need to like refresh those deals.
Yes.
But yeah, I really like acacia fiber. It does well with my chemistry. I should say that.
I feel like it does way better now than it did 6-8 months ago.
Sure.
Like all fibers. I feel like I'm doing so much better with. And like it used to be that I couldn't have a whole KetoChow or else it has both the xanthan gum and acacia fiber. Now I have no issue at all. So I definitely see improvement on my part that has nothing to do with the acacia fiber or the xanthan gum.
Yeah, those didn't change. Your gut flora probably rose to the occasion through all the work you did.
Speaking of KetoChow, and Gary mentioned ice cream here. I did something this morning, and I'm going to have to get your advice. Okay, I took the plunge and I ordered a Ninja Creamy. I got the deluxe. So, okay, I hadn't like jumped into the Ninja Creamy thing. Like it's been all the rage for like 2 years. Right. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
We are so the same person.
I had like a negative experience with Ninja, the brand, a few years ago. And it wasn't a huge deal, but it was enough that I was like, if there's another option, I'll pick the other option rather than give them my business. And so I was like, I really would like to get something like a Ninja Creamy. And I did some research, and there's just, maybe it's still under copyright or whatever,
trademark patents or something.
Mm-hmm. But there's just not another option that is the same type of product. It's all just, regular ice cream makers, which I've had in the past and never used. Yeah. Just because they're super annoying. Like, it's just like, it's too much trouble. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I ordered the deluxe, and I guess like being the last one to the game, I waited long enough that there was like the upgraded version.
Nice.
Because, everyone else that jumped in at first, they have the old version, and now they have to upgrade.
Right.
Anyways. So I'm going to be playing with that here pretty soon. And the main reason that I got it was because of KetoChow, because I have all this KetoChow and I don't drink shakes often. And I'm going to be playing with recipes and stuff. But I was like, KetoChow ice cream. I mean, everyone talks about how great it is. And I was like, I believe that it is great. Like already, I know that it's going to be great. And so basically I bought a creamy for KetoChow ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah. So your advice and thoughts.
First bit of validation is that I think that buying it just for the use of KetoChow is solid. Because we have had the creamy for a while, and I come up with my own bases, and they can be fairly inconsistent. And I was thinking about this past week. I have tremendous respect and admiration for people who do recipe testing, and I do recipe testing myself, and it is so laborious to go through, find something that tastes good first, fits whatever you're trying to accomplish second, and then is repeatable, consistently repeatable by other people, by yourself, by whatever, you're looking for. And so KetoChow coming up with their flavors, that blueberry pie, I know we talked about it the last time, but my word, it is phenomenal. Jared and I, we made it as an ice cream base, and I think that Joe and Rachel, Joe from Two Crazy Ketos, he had some of the best advice for how to make it well, as far as like you can use 2 servings of KetoChow for 3 pints of creamy containers. Okay. So that way it's like 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, right? In each one, because it kind of stretches it a little further, and yet you still get all of the delightful flavor and all of the, just the enjoyment out of it. And then you're not like saying, okay, well, it's a full packet, it's a full meal. Well, it's now more of a snack kind of a thing. And generally, my husband and I will split a pint, maybe not equally, but we'll split a pint, and it turns out to be like a great friendly snack. So we did do blueberry pie as a creamy. Actually, I did them as a couple of creamies. So I did 2 for 1 1/3 scoops, or 1 1/3 servings split, because I do like Joe's reasoning on that. Like, it's a little bit cost effective, and it's just as good as a snack. So I made 2 of those, and I did them with butter as my main fat. One thing that Jared and I have learned is that for our taste buds, the butter does leave a bit of a film when you use it as the fat in the creamy. However, heavy cream, definitely the spot for that instead of using the butter. Now that's just our experience, our personal preferences. So try it with butter, try it with heavy cream, try it with whatever makes your heart sing. And there's that. Also, we've eaten some that I have created from scratch myself that have been not delightful. So it's getting that sweetness factor just right. Is
things can taste sweet when they're not frozen, and then you freeze it and it like loses the flavor or the sweetness. So you just have it takes a lot. That's why I'm excited about the KetoChow, is like, just throw it in there. It'll be good.
Yes,
Then
absolutely.
I don't have to think about it. And so as far as KetoChow as a meal replacement, if I try to drink a meal replacement that's just all sweet, I feel like I'm not satisfied. I need something savory. And so having like that little serving and then, have a little bit of savory something on the side, I think that would be more of a good meal for me than just, drinking a whole shake. And it's more cost effective, because you spread your KetoChow
better.
Out. Yeah.
Absolutely. I will just say, like, overall, using the creamy, it's wicked simple. I actually use my immersion blender and just blend straight in the actual pint container, because the stick part of the blender fits beautifully in there with space. So that's what I tend to do, just because it's one less dish to have to wash. But if I'm going to make all three, or if I'm going to make a bucket load of base in one flavor, I'll use the blender for that. So there's a lot of choices you get to make, a lot of variations you get to make. I really like Olive Nation for their flavor extracts, because they are usually natural. They usually don't have colorings in them, and they are really great at giving all of the information. So I've got a pile of those. I've got some banana in my pantry that I'm like, oh, I think we might need to make some banana creamy, and then go through and kind of add the honey nut cereal or the cinnamon cereal to it or something.
Yeah, I like Olive Nation. I always use that for my truffles at Christmas time. It's like, if I'm doing a new flavor, I always get the Olive Nation. After I tried to go for something cheaper one time and it was garbage, like the hazelnut, I got something else and it was terrible. And then I got Olive Nation. It was like Nutella. It was the most amazing hazelnut flavor. But lots of people are talking about, I struck a nerve with everybody, a good nerve.
Excited.
Okay, so have you used Terragum? Judy was saying Terragum, and I'd heard that from Steve.
Yes.
That it's, I didn't know if you needed to add it to the KetoChow ice cream, or if it makes the KetoChow ice cream better or not.
I have not used Terragum. However, I use the acacia fiber instead, because acacia fiber to be so versatile, and because KetoChow has the acacia gum in it, I find that it works out beautifully with that.
Okay, good. But I do have some Terragum. I ordered some after Steve's interview with the Modernist Pantry guy.
Yeah.
Because I was so inspired, and then I haven't even opened it. So I'll have to try it. I'll try a KetoChow without it and then try with it. And Judy said 1/4 of a teaspoon. So we'll see if it makes a difference.
Yeah.
But so I've kind of skipped over all of the Ninja Creamy videos that people put out, just because I didn't have one. And so now I'm going to have to go back and like watch all of them and get all the ideas.
It is very intuitive, in my opinion, how it functions. So I think it's going to be a quick pickup for you. And then it's just a lot of playing around with whatever makes your taste buds sing.
I love to do that. So Liz said she got hers at Costco for $99. That's amazing. I looked at Costco and they only had the first model, and I decided to go for the deluxe because it had the bigger containers, because I have a lot of kids.
You do. And they are
probably the right choice.
And they always seem willing to taste test whatever you create.
Yes, especially if it's ice cream.
I mean, how could it be bad?
Seriously. So I went for the big one. I got it. I actually found the cheapest price on the Ninja Shark website because they had a coupon code for $30 off.
Nice.
So it's regular $250. $30 off is $220. Still a lot, but better than the $250. So yeah, I was like, okay. It wasn't any cheaper on Amazon, and Amazon looked like it had longer shipping time. So
yeah. Okay.
I did kind of want to get it off of QVC because they had different colors. They were so cute.
Yeah. They also had, when I got Jared his, I thought about getting it on QVC at the time. They had extra containers. Like ours came with 3 containers. And you think to yourself, like, oh man, if I don't have them filled up, I have to store those somewhere. But the reality is they're almost always filled up.
Yeah. But the QVC ones were like $250 plus the shipping. So it's like, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Even though they were cute.
Alan said good morning a while ago. Hi, Alan.
Oh, yes, there he is. Let's see.
I will say my husband has also made fruit sorbets for the girls where he just takes fruit and water and then like a pinch of salt. And I don't know that he ever added any sweetener to it or not, but the fruit sorbet option is also very refreshing.
Yeah, I bet it would be. That sounds amazing. I knew everyone would love that. Okay, so Robin says, if I only did one thing for improved gut health, would it be the L-Reuteri?
I think it would be reading this book.
That would be a really good thing for improved gut health. Yeah, seriously. And I do think the L-Reuteri is a great thing for a lot of people. And of course, it depends on we always say this, it depends on where you start. If you already have lots of L-Reuteri in your system, then it's not really going to do much for you. But if you're deficient in it, then it probably will be what you need. But what I will say is it's a very cheap, easy, and delicious thing to try. And so that's what Dr. Davis says. If it was some huge expense or some invasive surgery or something, then it's like, yeah, let's do some more research before we dive into this. But when it's making a delicious yogurt that's cost effective and yummy, it's like, why not just throw it in there and see what happens? So I think it's a very accessible thing to do for your gut health, because there are a lot of great things you can do for your gut health, testing and supplements, but they're all super expensive. Super expensive. And so it's like, yeah, try it, see what happens.
Yeah, I had not really picked this one up to read. Like I bought this one and Drop Acid by Perlmutter. I bought those at the same time. And because my brain was so hyperfixated on the uric acid at the moment, I dug into that one first. And so I'm kind of like working my way. I think I'm about a third of the way through the reading portion of that. But I've been doing the L-Reuteri yogurt aspect of it, and it is just so tasty. I mean, I don't know if it's improving my gut overall or not, but it's improving your life. I mean, breakfast is one of those things where like I'm more likely to choose yogurt, breakfast or lunch. I'll choose yogurt and the KetoChow, or not KetoChow, Perfect Keto cereal, the dog food. We'll choose that one. Like if I am just lost and don't know what to make out of all inspiration or whatever the case may be, it's so good. And I know that it's not going to cause me like tremendous distress because my gut seems to appreciate it to a certain degree. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It's like, how can you go wrong? Unless you're allergic to dairy or something.
Yeah.
Then you can try I still need to try the coconut milk version. I haven't yet, but yeah, there is a coconut milk version.
I have a few cans of coconut milk in my pantry that I could probably do my next batch with just to test it out.
Yeah.
I might do that.
There are extra steps to it that you have to do if you do the coconut milk. So I think the newest version that he has includes gelatin. So
I love gelatin.
Instead of guar gum.
Okay.
It used to have guar gum, and I think he found that gelatin worked just as well. So.
And gelatin is like a soothing gut ingredient anyway.
Exactly, which guar gum probably isn't.
So does he have, he does have the coconut milk version in here in his recipe.
Does it have guar gum in it?
Questions. I got the recipe for the El Ruderai yogurt, and I'm going to order things for the super gut yogurt version, but I have not like dug into a whole pile of his recipes at this stage yet.
Right.
But I would have to hunt for that.
Yeah, I don't know if the one in the book is updated with the gelatin. I feel like I saw that on the website.
It probably is, because it looks like it's still the guar gum in here.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Page 224.
So if you want to do the gelatin, look on his blog.
But when you're looking on his blog for different things, you kind of have to like bookmark those pages, unless like you.
Yeah. Well, what I do is you can only like see 3 a month or something without having to pay. So what I do is, if I go to get a recipe, I just print it and save it as a PDF.
Yeah.
And so then I have it for referring to later. Yeah, that's one little bit annoying thing about it, but
I mean, the man's got to earn money off of his.
You got to earn money, and there are everyone has issues with how people earn money online, no matter what way you choose, whether it's like subscription based or affiliate marketing or sponsorships. It's like someone's going to have a problem with it. So not knocking the guy for it. I think it's cool that he allows, that you do get the 3 free per month.
Right.
And you could go into a different browser and get 3 more. There are ways around it if you're really desperate.
Right.
But anyways, not upset about that at all.
No.
Teresa said that the pecan sticky bun ice cream with toasted pecans added is awesome.
Okay, so
good.
So I think it's Lynette from KetoChow.
She's amazing.
She contacted me and said, Chris said he wants to convert you. And I was like, oh.
You need to play hard to get.
So I did not do that.
You need to be like, okay, but you're really going to have to convince me.
No, I was totally like, I fangirled over it. I was like, oh my
goodness. Yeah. So we talked about KetoChow on our last Wednesday live. And then yesterday I was watching the KetoChow live, and they started talking about us. And Chris said he watched a bunch of your videos and that he heard you say that you needed to be converted. And he's like, mission accepted. That was so cool.
Well, so I talked with Lynette, and she's working on it. I'm not playing coy or hard to get, so it's
she's amazing.
A lost cause. But she's then amazing. I hopped on. So my husband's absolute one of his most favorite desserts is key lime pie. The man loves it, and I thought, I wonder if KetoChow has a key lime pie that might like be able to make a dessert or something. So I go onto their website and I'm searching and I'm like, there's no key lime. And I searched it in the search bar and it says sold out as a seasonal flavor. And I was like, wow, if only I would have converted faster. I probably could have had key lime.
Disappointing. Yeah, I haven't tried the key lime. That sounds really good. They have a lemon meringue.
Yeah. So as soon as I was saddened by their being sold out of the key lime, I wanted to see if it would make a really great key lime pie. And so once I saw that they were sold out, I said, I'm going to put a pin in that. And if that comes back at some point, I will happily purchase that to try out for my husband. But Olive Nation had a key lime extract. So I went ahead and snagged that, and we'll see what happens.
Have you ever cooked recipes with citric acid? Like anything citrus, sour?
Well, I mean, like I've done like lemon meringue stuff, and I have done a key lime pie in the past with like real key lime juice.
Okay, so buying the citric acid powder.
Uh-huh.
If you like tart, tangy desserts like that, it is magic.
Is it?
Yes, because it gives you that punch in the mouth.
I do love a good mouth punch.
I know you do. I just know you do. So yeah, so that's what I use in my lemon truffles at Christmas time.
Smart.
It's like they're so good. And you can put it in like gummy recipes if you're doing like a lemon gummy, and it makes it like a sour candy. Like that's what is on sour gummies, like that coating on the outside. It's like citric acid plus sugar. That's what it is.
Smart.
Yeah.
Okay, I found a citric acid powder that is non-GMO. 2 pounds.
Yeah, you want to get food grade.
Huh?
You want to get food grade.
It says
I use it for cleaning like my Keurig and stuff too.
Yeah. So that's the application I understand. Oh, okay, you got that brand. I found one that is 100% food grade, non-GMO, and it's Onuva. Yeah. But then I also saw the Millard.
Okay. Yeah, it's non-GMO also. And I think I probably bought it because it was the cheapest.
Well, this other one is like $13.50 for 2 pounds.
Okay. Yeah,
so
this one's $14.99 for 2 pounds.
Slightly cheaper.
You can get 5 pounds for $22.94.
Wow.
Or $39.99. Buy more, save more.
But also, I feel like the Millard brand, I like the color on their packaging better.
Yeah, it is pretty attractive. Yeah, I just have used that brand and it's great. And it's the kind of thing, like 2 pounds is going to last you a really long time unless you're using it for cleaning and stuff.
I don't know. They've got the 10-pound bag there also for $40.
Seriously, that's like half the price per ounce almost of the 2 pound.
Yeah, that's 25 cents an ounce.
How long is it going to take you to go through 10 pounds of citric acid? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, if you use it for cleaning,
there you go.
You could really, really get through the things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've had I think I got just a 2 pound bag, and I've had it for like
years,
3 years, and it's still at least half full.
So. That's when you've really got the value.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the nice thing is it's still nice and granulated. It's not like clumpy or anything.
That is
still good.
Yeah.
Still fine. Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of the desiccant packets that sometimes I'll toss a couple of those with my egg bread in my airtight container because it can kind of get a little humid in there. But I'll also kind of just toss those, like I said, in with the sunflower lecithin powder or just like other little things that I will keep. Like I know I'm going to only use microscopic amounts of this for a long period of time. So I'll just toss an extra one in there and you can reuse desiccant packets. Did you know that?
Like do you like dry them out in the oven or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I need to use desiccant packets more. I find that it would be helpful in Redmond seasonings. They tend to clump. And it's because they don't add preservatives and things,
Yeah. So it's like
consumers were like, it better not clump and you better not add any stuff to make it not clump. So anyways, yeah, that would be a good thing to add to those.
Well, and I don't know, I feel like desiccant packets, like it's a really sustainable, reusable way to go through and be able to preserve things, but not have added like landfill dump garbage. So I think that's, definitely an option for people to look into. And you can buy them like that are like big. You can buy little bitty fellas. You can buy.
I bought a pack a while back, but again, it's one of those things that I bought and then have not even used.
Yeah.
You do it.
Well, and I think whenever it comes to our kitchens and the 11 billion ingredients we have, trying to go through and parse out the time to be able to figure out how that thing works well in your kitchen on a consistent basis and is easy, like an easy added step without it being like a whole, like, oh, I have got to go somewhere else, find the thing, bring it back. It's like you're adding on more things. And typically for our lives, adding things is a big challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's always like you order something, you either let it just sit there and never use it, or you try it and it doesn't end up being something that you incorporate into. So you
Right.
have the pile of things that you've used a little bit of, but it's not really something you're incorporating into your everyday life. And then occasionally it's the thing you get and you try and you're like sold, and it becomes the thing that you use forever.
Right. And the
You,
thing
you
that
never
you
really
would,
know.
yeah. And the thing that you would use forever and ever may not be a thing that clicks with me. And
Right.
so it's like there's so many variables,
Right.
as with,
Except that we're the same person, so probably it would.
it probably would. It's probably going to work out for us.
Just like I'm gonna love the creamy.
I mean, I'll buy half the things, you buy half the things, and then we'll swap notes to decide what needs to actually live in our kitchens.
Love it. I love it. All right, let's see. Lots of comments here.
Ooh, this was an interesting one. Heavy whipping cream kind of mutes the flavor for somebody. I just jumped.
KetoChow?
Yeah, with the KetoChow. Oh, Blaze. She likes butter better. I do really like the melted butter with the blueberry pie. I feel like it just really adds to that, I don't know, just like authentic taste.
Because you want like the pastry crust flavor.
Yeah.
Same with the pecan sticky bun.
Okay.
The butter makes it. It's so good. Yeah. Let's see.
There was so much conversation. I love that.
I know. I love it. Okay.
Callie, you said earlier that you're waiting for me to come up with some great dairy-free ice cream recipes for the Ninja. I have a lemon like sherbet kind of recipe that's high protein, and it's actually PSMF friendly, and it's dairy-free, and it is super good. I love that one.
Blaze says she has the cinnamon red Ninja Creamy.
Oh, pretty.
So pretty. Oh, you bought it with a coupon in February. Oh, so you've had it for a while. All right. That's good to know that you guys like the creamies. I'm optimistic that I'm gonna love it.
Yes.
Okay, so butter powder. Jennifer said butter powder. I'm not sure if she's talking about the KetoChow, but I wonder about butter powder in KetoChow ice cream, if that would not give you that film.
So now that's a really interesting thought, and I think there was some conversation regarding that.
Okay.
And I have not tried butter powder yet, so I think that will be an interesting test. And I always melt my butter before I add it to my creamy whenever I do like butter-based fats. And I always try to do like room temperature or slightly warm, lukewarm water so that it doesn't obviously re-solidify my butter too fast. And one thing that I don't remember if it was Joe on Two Crazy Ketos said that they noticed this. I noticed this as well. Kind of like because the volume, the liquid starts to freeze, the crystals take up more physical space. So they kind of like create a mountain top in the creamy container. And if you leave the lid off, it does not do that as aggressively because it's got room airflow to escape. So like if you freeze it and then pop your lid on it, it should not have the mountain dome at the top. And mixing sugar-free ice creams on the light ice cream cycle is usually best.
Okay.
Instead of the regular ice cream. Now, I've also gone through and done a cooked custard to turn into ice cream, like, like doing it in a traditional churn ice cream thing. I've done that and turned it into a creamy. The flavor it does get a little bit lost even when I do the churned version as well. So I got to ramp up flavorings often. Okay. But I also don't do the cooked custard one very often. It's wicked simple to just like do the protein powder with alternative milk of choice. And I think that's the value added, is that you're not going through and making a classic homemade, home churned ice cream.
Right.
You're
saying,
a lot of work. I want this treat. Here's a protein powder. And I think the protein piece of it also really warms my heart.
Yeah, me too.
So to me, that I think is where the creamy shines, is that you're able to get something that's nutritionally dense, but also a treat. So
yes, I love it. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be exciting. So, Renee, my 7-year-old, she
yep.
is a major KetoChow fan. she just thinks KetoChows are so delicious and so fun, which of course they are, like all the flavors, and it's just KetoChow makes it fun. And so I was gonna do so part of the reason I bought the creamy is because
Renee.
I'm gonna try to do a little series with her making some KetoChow recipes because we got the KetoChow recipe box over the holidays.
Yeah.
That was one of their Black Friday deals, and so we have like I don't know 100 recipe cards from KetoChow of all of these recipes that look so fun. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try to do that. I'm not sure if they're gonna be shorts or
How
long form videos.
Yeah.
But anyways, Lynette got word of that, and so she's sending us a huge package of stuff for Renee, and it's gonna be oh my gosh, it's gonna be so fun. So everyone can look forward to that, fun times, and so that's part of the reason that I went ahead and did the creamy because I was like, we'll have to try KetoChow ice cream. Like you can't just do KetoChow recipes without trying KetoChow ice cream.
I really don't think you can. I really don't. I preemptively bought the equipment not knowing that I was going to go to KetoChow, and now
it was always meant to be.
It's just great. I love it.
I love it. Okay, let's see.
Lots of excellent conversation today, y'all.
Yeah.
I appreciate that much. Jennifer, you feed a spoon of the yogurt, the Elroy yogurt, to your dogs. That's awesome.
I've been doing that where I have my spoon and I just put it down them for them to lick, before I throw it in the sink. So like they need it too.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
All right.
Oh, MK says that we need to make a cookbook.
I mean, you're not wrong, but the amount of time and energy and having to really kind of hone in what that book would look like.
Yeah.
Because your Instant Pot mini cookbook is pretty expansive.
Yeah, but it's definitely not keto.
No.
Like all the way. Yeah.
Right. But you've got a broad spectrum of foods in that one book.
Yeah.
It's a good book.
I've been thinking about like what is my diet? Like we have to have a label, even though labels are stupid and I eat the Neely diet, whatever. But in order to be on YouTube and to say, follow my channel for this kind of recipe, I was thinking that as far as right now, with my experimentation with adding a few more carbs in, I decided my title or my label would be animal-based low carb or meat-based low carb.
Yeah, that fits beautifully.
I'm not going to go over 100 grams of carbs in a day. Like I think I'm pretty solidly low carb still. Right. But, maybe 50, maybe 75. So that's low carb, but I still want the emphasis of meat-based. Like that's why I gravitated to Ketovore as a label. But if I'm 50 to 75 grams of carbs a day, that's not keto anymore.
Yeah. So, well, and I gotta be honest,
like meat-based low carb would be my
moniker,
my title at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that what's really difficult is that so many people, they get these terms in their heads and it pigeonholes things, but it also allows someone else to say, oh, that could apply to me, or that sounds interesting to me. Whereas if you say like, I'm the Neely diet, or I live the Neely diet, that's very specific and honed into you. And it's really difficult for someone to say, I can see how I could apply that to myself. Whereas people could say, oh, meat-based low carb, I can see where that terminology could fit into my life.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, I find it humorous because I watch a variety of things. And oftentimes someone will say something like, well, this is, you know, this is perfect for, they associate paleo with
Mm.
keto. And I get
Mm.
the O sound at the
Not
end
the
is
same.
very, you know, congruent, but
Yeah.
also I think
Not the
paleo,
same.
and that does not ring as keto in my ears. That rings
Yes.
as an entirely different subset of a way of eating.
Yeah.
And I think that when you try to like claim that something is another thing, it gets to be very muddy. And then it
Yeah.
also sort of helps people become more confused. But when when you say meat-based low carb, I really like that. Like
Yeah, and
a lot.
because it's not like paleo.
Right.
Paleo has its own like there's connotations to something like paleo where it's like the cleanliness of the ingredients. And people try to put that on keto, like, oh, Hellman's mayonnaise is not keto because it's made with soybean oil. And you're like, well, no, it's low carb. It like you could eat it and it would help facilitate a ketogenic state in your body. So it is keto.
Right.
So people try to put like the cleanliness of food on the label of keto
Right.
when I don't think that's appropriate.
Right.
So for meat-based low carb, like there's no quality of ingredient connotations there.
Right.
Just that meat is prioritized,
Mhm.
which that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I have my own subset of what I think is clean and what is I think is appropriate for me in my
Like
diet, but that's
80/20.
completely separate from the label of like what the macros look like of my diet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that just a Midwestern thing. Yeah, no. No, yeah.
No, yeah.
There's the Holderness Family Laughs channel from the Holderness family.
So
And
funny.
oh my word, when they do the Midwesterner friend, I'm like,
That is so great.
because I
Uh,
lived there for multiple years, I was like, oh, it's so real.
yes,
It's
yes,
so good.
yeah, and I probably identify more with the Californian Holderness family because we're in the Pacific Northwest, so
Right.
that's so
Right.
funny. Yeah,
Well,
they're hilarious.
it's a good time. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. But when you do have more clear monikers for what you're trying to do, it
yeah,
really does help people to either jump on board or say, you know what, I understand it, but it's not right for me. Like I feel like
exactly.
understanding is the key so that people
Yeah,
can make good choices for themselves.
right. Yeah, because it's like uh I'm not gonna gravitate necessarily to watch a YouTuber that eats a vegan diet. And it's
I mean,
helpful that they say, I eat a vegan diet, because then
right,
I can be like, oh, well, that's interesting, but it's not quite what I'm looking for.
sure.
So, so labels, I think labels are helpful, but then
Yes.
they can also cause their whole own set of problems.
It's a tool to
Their
wield
ideas about things.
carefully.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was kind of worried about like losing my keto status as I've been
Oh,
experimenting with carbs. Like it's so weird, um, because I love the keto community and I love being a part of it and I
yeah.
love creating recipes that are keto. And like there was part of me that was like, should I just stay keto because of that, even though I feel like maybe I could add some carbs? Like, and then I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? That's silly.
Yeah.
That's really silly. Like, why would I, for as far as my health and nutrition, why would I limit what I experiment with based on a label?
Yeah.
So, anyways, and I know that there will be certain people, if I, do eat 50 to 75 carbs in a day, that will not want to follow me. And I get that. And I like, especially if you're zero carb carnivore and you're laser focused on that, like I understand.
Yeah.
But at the same, it was just this really weird mind space where I'm just like, I don't want to lose that. And
Right.
I don't, but it was a weird thing to think about.
Well, I think that feeling is actually pretty common to a lot of people. And I think it speaks a lot to our desire to have a unique identity, but still find significance within our community. Like you are a unique creature, but you also, you really want to fit in with this group of people that, has a similar-ish mindset. And we all strive for some sort of significance or some sort of validation. And I feel that all too often, like way, way too often. I mean, I personally, I feel like keto just really kind of surmises what I do without a whole lot of extra nonsense, not nonsense, but a whole lot of extra, just like extra. So it's like, I eat vegetables. They tend to fall in a very low carb category. And I'm not going to go off and eat sweet potatoes every day, but if I do have sweet potatoes like once a month, I'm not going to sweat that.
You don't have to turn in your keto card.
Yeah, I actually refuse to turn in any cards because I only have one card and it says I can do what I want. Ron Swanson.
There you go. Yeah, Ron Swanson told you could do whatever you want.
That's right.
Love it. Okay, let's see. I feel like we're missing all kinds of comments here.
I know. Everybody had some really excellent discussion regarding different additives to put with your creamies.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and read them all after.
I don't know if we can with this.
No, what? And then after we're done, I'll have to come back and read everything. Get all the
what I meant was, remember how I was not having my live chats come back up on the replay, and you told me about that setting. So I went back in, I changed that setting. So hopefully we will have the live chat back.
Right. All right.
Talking about how the KetoChow website breaks down the carbs and the different fat sources.
Yes. They are very open about all of the things. Yeah,
they're like so see-through. You could literally just like ask them anything, and I believe they are going to give you straight answers.
Yeah. So I heard that they actually got in trouble for being so transparent on their nutrition facts. Like, I don't know who, the FDA or whatever, says you need to round it. You can't have it exact like that. Something like that, where they got in trouble for being too exact. It's so ridiculous.
That is very ridiculous.
All right, and Blaze is reminding everyone to hit the like button.
Yes, we would appreciate that, y'all.
Smash that like button.
I mean, or you could just gently click it. I mean, we're not here to
Chris is here.
Others' devices. Wow. Hello, Chris.
Chris, we were just talking about KetoChow again.
Yeah, y'all have been kind of
interspersed. It's like our favorite subject these days. Oh, Joe said, are you with Joe right now? Because you guys did the meetup.
Hi, Joe. We've also commented on some of the experiments you have done.
Bring Joe to work day. That's awesome.
I love that. That's fantastic.
If you missed the beginning, I was saying earlier that I just this morning ordered a Ninja Creamy solely for the purpose of making KetoChow ice cream. It's a problem. No, it's going to be great. I'm going to be experimenting with it. I've never used a Ninja Creamy before, so I'm really excited. Everyone was giving me all of their KetoChow ice cream tips, and I can't wait.
Well, I gotta be honest. I absolutely adore the fact that Renee is sold out and is like, we are doing it, and it's all for her to like fully embrace her KetoChow love.
She loves it. She's so funny. She's like, hey, Mom, is there anything keto we can test? She comes to talk to me when she wants like a treat or something. She's like, is there anything keto we need to try?
That's fantastic. I love that.
It was great. It was so great. Well, and after I commented this to Steve from Series Keto, after we did our pecan sticky bun taste test of the KetoChow, after I turned off the camera, she said, I want to be keto when I grow up. I told Steve, he needs to put that like on his resume or something. Like his KetoChow flavor made the 7-year-old want to be keto when she grew up.
That is beautiful. Oh my word.
Okay, so Joe is asking what's wrong with me for not having a creamy yet. Okay, so I explained this in the beginning of the live, but I had a negative experience with Ninja, the brand, several years ago. It wasn't anything terrible. It was they were gonna have me be involved in the Ninja Foodie release. And they messaged me. I wrote them back. I gave them all this stuff. And then they ghosted me. And I was like, so rude. And so it was enough that it put a bad taste in my mouth, like towards the company. And so whenever I was looking for a kitchen appliance, I just gravitated towards something else, And so with the Ninja Creamy, when I was like, oh, I should, really try something, I researched and tried to find a different brand, and there's just not a good competitor to that product there. So I'm like, fine, I'll do it. So that's why. That's literally the only reason why.
I do think that when you have those memorable things happen, whether they be positive or negative, it can really color the way that you experience things from that point forward. I mean, I've always had pretty good like experiences with like my Ninja kitchen auto IQ blender, food processor, all that stuff. I was really happy with them. I did burn them out and I had to replace it. I replaced it once. So I went through 2 of them, and I was always so like not resistant, but sort of like hesitant on the whole like Vitamix thing. Like everybody touts the Vitamix. It's so amazing, so incredible. And I'm like, I'm really quite happy with my Ninja. I mean, yeah, I have to replace it every 4 years, but I'm really quite happy with it. But so I was like, I'm either like ahead of the curve on something, like I'm there before it's a thing, or I am so like stuck in the mud, like I will not yield to the thing that everybody else is doing because everybody else is doing it. And so for that,
it's one or the other.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground.
Right. And whenever the girls got me the Vitamix, like I thought I was going to explode with happiness.
Vitamix is incredible. I've probably had mine for 13, 14 years. And it still works like it always has. Yeah.
When I started saving for it, because I had made the decision that even if I wasn't sold out for the Vitamix yet, I was going to save my money and I was going to slowly build toward buying it for myself. And then continue to do research as I was saving it. So I would watch like all of the comparison videos between, the $35 one, the Ninja one, the actual Vitamix. And I'm like,
Vitamix always wins.
It just makes too much sense.
Yeah.
The blade's never dull because they're built that way.
Yeah. Okay, Chris wants to know if Lynette contacted you.
She did.
Yeah, I told Lindsey that she needed to play more hard to get, and be like, oh, you guys really need to convince me. But she's all in.
It's that dadgum blueberry pie flavor. Like, what is the magic in that?
I know. And you really need to try the pecan sticky bun when that comes back. Okay. Chris, when is the pecan sticky bun coming back?
So I've got that on the list.
Literally the best.
Okay. Pecan sticky bun and key lime pie are both on my list to get as soon as they are in stock. Chris, you also missed the discussion. My husband's most favoriteest flavor of dessert, well, one of his most favoriteest is key lime pie. So I was trying to like see if y'all had that, and it was seasonal apparently. Yeah. So I'm currently waiting with bated breath. So also
I want to try the key lime pie too. I have not tried that one.
Yeah. He loves key lime pie. He would go down to Florida and get things that had like key lime, like real key limes, whole key limes in it or whatever. Whenever he would travel down to South Florida, and he would just come back and say, he would come back to wintry Wisconsin and be like, I just need some key lime. Can you just go find real key limes and make something with key lime?
So good.
I mean, he was a little spoiled getting to travel into, South Florida when it was still dead of winter where we were.
All right, Chris says the pecan is ordered and waiting on word for the restock. So
okay,
we're all waiting. I have
1.5
packets left, and I'm like trying not to use them. Maybe I'll do my packet in the Ninja Creamy when it comes, and we'll make some pecan sticky bun ice cream.
And then add in those toasted pecans.
So good.
A pecan is literally like my favorite nut on the planet.
Yes.
I mean, Texan pecan trees are prolific.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. We have been on here for an hour and 10 minutes. You remember back when we were like, we should probably be like 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Tops.
Yeah, we could do that.
Here's the problem.
Oh dear.
We have too many things to discuss. It's just impossible.
We do.
Okay.
We do.
One point of business.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about exercise. Oh dear.
Did you work out this week?
I did. I wrote it down again. Yeah.
Your face.
Let's see. I did 3 yoga workouts and 2 strength workouts.
Nice.
So I told you I'm an all or nothing type person, and I just flipped the switch to all.
Yeah. So yet again, same person. To all the viewers, Neely and I are the same. I'm just the more extroverted version.
On that point, last week I noticed we both wore green. This week we both wore red. Like, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know.
Jesus.
I guess that's it.
So I took a little bit of a lighter approach this past week, getting back in the swing of things, just falling back into our regular rhythms and habits was much more challenging for me. And I don't know if it's the fact that I went from having all of the glorious, equator level sunlight, just like infiltrating my brain and making me feel awesome. And then coming back to not winter, but not summer. It feels like spring, and spring and fall are definitely my least favorite seasons because they're not extreme. And so I struggled this past week. I did go to boot camp yesterday, and it kicked my booty. That was intense. And I figured out like my wrist, and I think it's from that beach yoga when I was having to do 16 count, or 16 count breath, like downward dogs for ages. My wrists are so tender. My forearms are so tender. My shoulders are on fire. Oh my word. I could barely, we would do what we call Incredible Hulks, where you kind of like rip your shirt off kind of a maneuver with hand weights. And I was dying because my grip strength, I couldn't hold on to my weights, and I was pulling it out. Oh, it was a delight. Fortunately, there were only 4 of us in the class because of President's Day, but I only did 1 workout this week, and my intention is to do 3 this coming week.
Okay. My intention is to do 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll often do the strength and then the yoga after.
Yeah.
So if I get, 2 strength trainings and 3 yogas again, same as what I did this week, I think I would be pretty happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're really out of the housebreaking phase with Bubs, that because we started, keeping each other accountable right when we got him, basically. And it kind of threw all of my plans out the window because you have to be on top of it every second. And he's doing so well. Like, we're really beyond those first stages. So I can have my time again. Like, I feel like so it's so great. It's kind of like when your baby starts sleeping through the night or something. It's like,
I don't know what you're talking.
Never appreciated how wonderful it is.
Sleeping through the night, the 5-year-old Lauren, she was up, I think 2 nights in a row in the middle of the night. And I'm like, what is this? I think that also contributed to the stressful, challenging week for me. But I was like, You're 5.5. We put this away. What happened? But I think she's going through growing pains, so.
Yeah, once you get them sleeping through the night and they do that for a while and then they stop, it's like 100 times worse.
Oh yeah.
You get used to sleeping again and then you're like, oh my gosh, how did I do this?
Yeah. Sleep. It's a glorious thing. Okay. Now we're at the end. We should be, we've got our tasks for holding ourselves accountable for next week.
Yep.
Next week will be on Neely's channel. So make sure that you are situated with a notification on her channel not tomorrow. Nope, that's not real. Next Tuesday.
No,
You're not going to find the live stream for next week tomorrow.
Clarity
right there. But
there will be other things on my channel tomorrow, so just head over there now.
I love it. I have nothing planned for my channel yet. Tomorrow is not Tuesday again. That is valid and wise.
What would we do without Chris? Seriously. Unless it's
it would be tomorrow's Tuesday. That's what we would do without him. And we would be in a world of hurt.
Yes. Oh, Lynette's here.
Lynette, hello.
Tomorrow is not Tuesday. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Chris actually had to break it to us.
Yeah. Oh man. That's us homeschool moms just trying to make it through life, knowing what day it is.
The girls asked me when we got home from homeschool group today, so what do you want us to do for the rest of the day? Because we've already spent the day playing and we're kind of in play mode. And I was like, listen, those math equations are not going to solve themselves.
Very true.
You're going to do math. That's a thing.
It's important. Yeah. Well, I should probably check on my children to make sure that they actually are doing their stuff. Today is BOGO at Buffalo Wild Wings. Is that an every Tuesday thing? Because I feel like I've heard that, but I've never taken advantage of it, which is a problem.
Oh, I'm a little bit excited about that. We have a Buffalo Wild Wings here in town, which we couldn't say that when we lived in Wisconsin. And I think we've only gotten B-dubs twice in the past 2.5 years that we've lived here in Ohio. So we might have to do that. Although we have a wing place that we are obsessed with. That's kind of like a local small batch kind of a place. That's super amazing. But I don't know. BOGO sounds pretty rad.
I know it does. And they cook their wings in tallow. Is that right? That's pretty magical.
I mean.
Oh, and it's only dine in for the BOGO. That's good to know.
Fantastic.
Ooh, Taco Tuesday, 2 days in a row. BOGO Wild Wings and Taco Tuesday.
This feels like a winning combination.
I think so. We could do tacos for lunch and wings for dinner.
I mean, now we're cooking with gas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ask your mom and pop wing place if they cook in tallow.
So listen, this place is called Oxby's, OX-B''S. They're in shipping containers that they've converted into restaurants. So it's like a box, but they rearranged the letters. I love it. And their their fresh pork rinds are killer. They are so good. They fry them right there and they come right out and you're just like,
okay, so I had fresh pork rinds at a restaurant. It was a taco place here, and they pop when you eat them fresh in your mouth. It's so weird. It was such a bizarre experience, but they're so good. Okay, Joe is wanting his dad to take him to wings.
I think Joe is talking about Chris because it was take your Joe to work day.
Take your Joe to work day.
That is fantastic. Okay, as one more side note, the whole weird popping in your mouth when it comes to fresh pork rinds, that's pretty rad. Another thing that I found to be so bizarre, but also equally amazing, is when you eat fresh cheese curds off the line when they're hot and how they squeak.
Week, yes.
That sensation is wild and amazing all at the same time. There was a creamery or a dairy where they made cheese curds, and you could go into the store, and it was kind of on the way. We would go from where we lived up in the Northwoods down to Minneapolis, and you could go one way that would take you past this particular place where they had the store and they had a cafe where they would give you like fresh cheese curds if you paid for them. And oh man, the fresh cheese curd like squeakies. My husband, he would tell me about that. Like, that's what it does. It squeaks. And I was always so confused by that until I experienced it. And it was magic.
Yeah.
It was like, where has that been all my life?
Tacos, wings, fresh pork rind. Now I'm hungry. Seriously, Chris, can you take us out to Wings too?
I'm down. I'd actually love to come back to Utah.
Let's do it. Yeah, one of these days, somewhere past KetoCon, I want to take a road trip to Utah for one of the meetups. That would be really fun.
My goodness, yes. So when we lived there, Thanksgiving Point, which is down in Lehi, it's on the west side, I think of I-15, if I remember the numbers properly. Anyway, that Thanksgiving Point down there was such an amazing place. We lived on the exact opposite side or underneath the other side of the interstate. So the girls and I, we would pack up. They had like this massive arboretum that was gorgeous. They had a farm place where you could go and learn all about farming and ride ponies. They had a science museum that was fully interactive. Like, Thanksgiving Point was awesome. And I loved living in Lehi. And then we moved to Alaska and never got to go skiing in Utah. So, we need to do like a meetup in Utah when we could go to Park City and go snow skiing.
Except I don't do that kind of thing.
Yeah, but you could hold my stuff.
I will die. So my grandparents lived in Utah for a long part of my young childhood. So I have memories of going to Utah when I was like 6, 7, 8. Great memories, but I haven't been in a long time.
It's such a beautiful state.
Yeah.
All right.
It's such a unique state with, yeah.
Okay. Really. So anyway. Chris said this. What's the deal with living in Utah and not being friends with us? So I lived in Utah in 2014, and that's where I was introduced to Redmond Real Salt. It was fantastic. I don't know that KetoChow existed at that point. What year did y'all start to exist? I need a deeper understanding.
Chris, we need a history lesson, a KetoChow history lesson.
Oh, our story. Was it there in 2014? Because if it was, then I also was not yet keto at that point. I was still in the whole like Weston A. Price movement, fermented grains, like doing all my kombucha and my sourdoughing and all of those fun things, just living my best life there in Lehi.
Yeah. Suzanne wants a meetup with Ben Bickman. That would be awesome. He's so cool. Do you listen to much of his stuff?
No.
He's like a metabolism expert. He's amazing.
Fantastic. I will have to look that up. Also, I see that KetoChow is actually in Draper. Like literally. That's the Sam's Club we would always go to, is the one in Draper.
You probably like passed them in the store.
Probably.
Drove past them on the freeway. That's
quite highly likely. Yep.
Okay, January 2nd, 2015. When did you move away?
We left at the beginning of November 2014 and drove all the way across Canada, all the way across Alaska, and landed in Anchorage just in time for the girls' 1st and 4th birthdays.
Okay.
So that was...
Well, you could have met them before they made KetoChow. They still existed before they made KetoChow.
So this was back in the days when Lindsey didn't get to sleep through the night.
Right.
Lindsey was very limited on her friend capacity.
Plus, I feel that in my soul.
Your kids are so much older than mine. I only had like a not quite 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. So I feel like the circles we ran in are probably a little different.
Yep.
Okay. All right. We've really been going on for ages now.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like we were about to wrap up, and then Joe and Chris just like showed up, and we had to like repeat the whole thing.
I mean, it felt right in the sternum.
It did. It did. A lot of fun times.
But also, that tends to be a thing. Oh, yeah. So the twin circles, one of the couples at our church had a set of twins, but they were like infant twins.
Whew. That just makes me tired thinking about it.
Well, and the twins were actually their their fourth and fifth kids. The first three were still under the age 5, if I remember right. And then they had twins, and that was our only real exposure to the twin culture.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad is an identical twin. So we always thought maybe we would have twins. Hasn't happened.
So fun.
Yeah. There would be some fun things about it. There would also be some exhausting things about it.
Yes. So we never got to have twins, but we did wind up with 2 of the girls on the same day for their birthdays.
Okay.
So
hey, that counts, right?
It's twin adjacent. It's like more than Irish twins.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So at least we only have to do 2 birthday parties instead of 3.
Yeah, that's true. That would work out.
It doesn't feel that way. You can keep going.
We've been going too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We really do have to move on, because if I don't go direct the girls on their next lessons, the likelihood of them finishing their work that I laid out today is twin adjacent. I love the term adjacent. It's just so applicable in so many categories. So.
Yeah. Ooh, my diet label could be keto adjacent.
I love that.
Because then I still get the word keto in there, but I'm not going to make anyone angry if I eat 50 carbs in a day.
Trademark.
There you go. Keto adjacent. Yeah, it's kind of like
the name of our book. Keto adjacent.
I love it. It's kind of like the Keto Twins, talking about twins again, where they do technically keto.
Technically keto will be keto adjacent.
We're going to be keto adjacent. Oh my gosh, that's it. I love it.
Okay, on that note, we will see all of you next week
my channel.
On Neely's channel. Thank you for being here.
Joe, please try to be on time next time.
I mean, if you could. Yeah. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.